Veterans against Trump. What do you not like about Trump?
But then again,
what don't we like about Trump?
I don't like the fact that he is a sexist, and racist, and a bigot, and a misogynist. And we've had 23 candidates run for president this year, and only one has been called a racist, and a sexist, a bigot, a misogynist, and a liar, a pathological liar.
But Trump has lied 75% of the time he speaks. 75% of the time. Think about this.
He's a sexist and a racist.
$9 trillion of treasuries is owned by Social Security. He wants to pay 60 cents on the dollar on that debt. When you wipe out the treasuries like that, you wipe out Social Security. You're talking people's lives.
He's a hater. He's a hater. There's no he doesn't understand. He's ignorant.
I'm here listening to what you have to say.
Well,
you're ignorant.
Have you ever?
I told you. You asked me why I didn't like Trump. I told you he's a sexist, a racist, and a bigot.
On the argument, how is he racist?
Well, let's see. You say you are against the immigration of people who are trying to better the lives of their families and the people who they live with. If you are against people and you treat them into numbers and bullshit that Trump is doing, you're degrading mankind. Just like the numbers they put on those prisoners in Dachau and in those prisoner of war camps in Germany. You go see Dachau, the first prisoner of war camp, you find out that the first people in those camps were the mentally retarded, they were the Jehovah's Witnesses, and then the Jewish and the other people, and they killed those people. And the Jehovah's Witnesses often could have walked out by just announcing their religion, but they would go to their death rather than give up their beliefs. And you want somebody who wants to put his beliefs on other people to be our president? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. You don't turn people into numbers. People are people.
What does he say that?
Hitler turned people into numbers.
Well, he wants to deport how many people who are here right now, earning a living, not harming anybody other than the fact that they're providing for their families. And then he also wants to prevent people from sending money home. Just like he can send money out of the country under his name brand to hide from the taxes. Give me a break.
So you don't like that he wants to deport the people that are here illegally?
I want people who are not harming anybody to have a chance to do what our forefathers did, which is become human beings and citizens of this great country. This country says, send us your huddled masses, send us your poor, send us your indigent, and our arms are open to you. That's not the message from Trump. That is completely against the Statue of Liberty that stands there in his hometown of New York.
Do you think we should, support the legal immigrants with taxpayer money, though?
The illegal immigrants are paying more into the system than they're getting out because they can't claim things. Look, years ago I worked in construction here in California. I'd see immigration come running into these construction sites. 95% of people ran from those immigration vans on those sites. Those companies send vans down to San Diego to pick those workers up. Nobody else wanted to do that job in 110-degree weather here in Sacramento in the summertime. They'd send vans down to pick them up when they came back across the border to come back and work. They paid taxes. They could never claim the benefits on those taxes those people paid. So why would I want to be adverse to those kind of people?
It's about learning from about history. It's about learning and watching how history is repeating itself and speaking up before we get another Hitler in office.
Exactly.
It's learning. It's learning from our mistakes. It's learning
if you get a candidate that wants to bail people out for doing violence against somebody who disagrees with them, that's just like Hitler in the brown shirts. Why would I want that? Why would I want that Hitler's society? I got a 3-year-old girl sitting over there in the shade with a friend of mine right now who I don't want this world to come to crashing in.
What do you think about ISIS, coming over the border into America because of the porous border?
I think it's fear-mongering.
There's a big fear-mongering.
It's fear-mongering, and people are rising to the occasion like they often do.
You gotta realize.
When we went to war with Bush, it was a war on terrorism. Everybody fell for it.
You gotta realize.
They did a bait and switch before.
Well, let me put it this way.
Should we be testing them for at least like tuberculosis and things like that?
Well, people are checked for those things before they come in the country. You do know that, right? They screen people who are immigrating.
What do they screen them for?
They screen them for disease like tuberculosis, and they screen them for other diseases that are communicable. I mean, that's just going towards hate.
And the people, the Muslim community, they're coming from a beautiful little neighborhood that war came on them. What are you trying to portray them as? Disease-ridden?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying they're coming from countries that don't have the type of medical system
They
that we have
do.
that can support.
They have excellent health there. What are you talking about?
In Guatemala?
Well, you're talking about.
Oh, wait, you want to talk?
Muslims.
Wait a second, wait a second. You want to talk Guatemala? My great-grandmother came from Guatemala on my dad's side.
Right.
My mom's side goes back to the revolution. Now, my great-grandmother came from Guatemala, okay? She came from Guatemala. She was full-blood Mayan Indian. There was no problem with her coming in the 1900s, okay?
Some people didn't have to go anywhere. Some people were here the whole time.
These people, we have terrorists.
So bad people.
We have all
We
these
don't need Trump for that. So bad people. That's already discussed. That's not a Trump issue.
We are vetting these people.
We're vetting people already. That's already a process. Trump, we don't need Trump for that.
Who's vetting them?
We have a program. We do not need Trump.
What makes
for
Trump
that.
God? Tell me this. What makes Trump your God? What makes him your God? You're saying he's your God. He vets everything. Everything's Trump approved. Everything's Trump.
We're not vetting them.
You're giving him too much
Well,
credit.
You're giving credit to everything the guy says as if it's the truth. Why don't you take a class in economics? Why don't you find out what the debt is of the United States? Who owns it? How much is owned by Social Security? How much is owned by Medicare? How much is owned by welfare? By the way, the Chinese only own 1 trillion of it. Social Security is over 9 trillion. 9 trillion to Social Security. You want to pay 60 cents on the dollar to that? That means the money that we put in, that we made a contract with our country for, will be gone. Just because Trump wants to call them
Obama said the
entitlement.
national debt was a disgrace. But now look, we're at 17
What does Trump have to do with that?
And why are we at such a high debt? Because Bush cut taxes during a war. First time in the history of the United States during a war, we cut taxes. It's not the trade agreement, it's the taxes. It's the taxes.
Not only this country, but Mexico as well.
Yes,
I agree with you on that.
You know
I
how much
actually
money
agree with Trump on
paid in
that. I agree with
tax
that.
and long-term very low.
Absolutely. That's why I'm not a Hillary supporter.
We're not saying.
I'm not saying Trump is the absolutely horrible person. I mean, his view on,
I'm saying he
well,
is.
I'm saying his view on NAFTA isn't necessarily that bad, but his view on racism, his misogynist techniques, that's the problem with him.
And undermine
He's there for the
foundations in this country because of an economic policy. If we go back to racism and divide our nation, the rest of it is not going to matter.
I mean, and he's full-scale capitalism. This country can't succeed with that. Neoliberalism is failing. Economists all over the world say that. I mean, we're not just pulling this stuff out of thin air. These are actually economists that have gone and gotten numerous degrees that are saying, hey, the way our country's going right now, the capitalist regime, it can't sustain itself. And we don't need somebody like Donald Trump who is just there to serve the elite class anymore. We all need help. I don't care if you're poor, black, brown, I don't care your color or your class. We need help.
Don't you think the elite class, these corporations, benefit by having open borders and having,
They do. I completely agree with you.
Let's see
I'm
his
not
taxes.
Yeah, let's see his tax returns.
It's not
And
about.
it's not about not having immigrant reform. That's not what it's
No,
about.
and I'm not saying-
We're not wanting to continue to enslave and take advantage of the illegal immigrants that come here, and as the new day slavery. We're not saying
But the
that.
problem with these agreements, though, is it's not for the benefit of the people. It's for the benefit of the high corporations. And Donald Trump, he doesn't pay his workers that great. He doesn't treat his workers
one
so
absolutely
I mean, so he
taking
eats in that. He's part of that elite class that we're fighting against. We need help. People need help, and that's why we're here. I don't care your color. I don't care your creed. We all need to come together and help each other. You know, call me a socialist if you want. That's fine. But I'm about helping people, not about pushing people down. Really. So thanks.
It's just a blame game.
Hand in hand.